All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. I am Mike Olson. He is Justin Moody. As always, we are the Moody Olson team, and we are here today to bring you the next in our series of Vegas versus videos. Today, we are doing Vegas versus Boise, Idaho. This one is another viewer request, so we're very excited to bring this one to you. I actually went on vacation to Boise just last year, had an absolute blast, so I look forward to sharing some of the things that I got to experience while I was there. And I understand you're actually going to Idaho on vacation, later this year?
I will be in Idaho for about a week in 4th of July, but a little bit farther south, I think, from Boise, or a little bit farther east, I should say, closer to Yellowstone.
Oh, okay.
But I have spent some time in Coeur d'Alene, one of the most beautiful lakes I've ever seen. Fantastic community, so I really love Idaho.
Floating green.
Absolutely, and I hit it.
Nice.
Thank you very
Congratulations.
much.
I look forward to trying myself.
Can't wait.
All right, guys, let's get right into it. As always, we compare Las Vegas to another city. We use 6 metrics. We use the same 6 across every one of these videos so that they all have the same flow to them, so you guys know what to expect. And those are the housing market, the cost of living, the job market, crime statistics, and then we talk about some fun stuff. We talk about dining and nightlife, and we talk about outdoor entertainment or outdoor lifestyle. So that being said, we'll go ahead and get right into it, and we are gonna start out with Justin telling us about the relative housing markets for the two cities.
Okay, so with Idaho, if you know, you know. Idaho has been one of the fastest growing states in the country for 10 plus years now. Boise's been one of the fastest growing metropolises for 10 years or so now, and that has really started to affect the property values in Idaho, as well as the availability of homes in Idaho. They're building them. They can't build them as fast as people are filling them up. The existing inventory is just not coming up for sale. So there's about a 1.9 month inventory there, meaning that if nothing else were to come on the market in 1.9 months, there wouldn't be nothing to buy in Idaho, versus Las Vegas, we're about 2.4 months. So we have a few more homes than they do available, and that really affects the price of the homes. The average sold price of a home in Idaho, according to Realtor.com in 2024, has been $599,000 or $316 a square foot. Versus Las Vegas, the average sold price in Las Vegas, according to Realtor.com in 2024, is $425,000 or about $260 a square feet. So you can see that the home values in Las Vegas are definitely not where Boise is. I looked at the homes, and it is going to be a different style of home as well. Here you're more stucco, more desert, Tuscan type of homes. Up there, you're going to see a lot more farmhouses. They're actually modern homes are becoming a big growth factor up there.
A lot of wood construction.
A lot of wood construction and siding, because obviously the weather is completely different in Boise. So the homes are, square footage wise and layouts, are going to be very similar, but the building materials are going to be different, and obviously there's a huge price gap. And again, if you know, people are moving to Idaho like crazy, so it is going to affect the property value as well. Vegas and Nevada are one of the fastest growing states, but I think we've been able to manage our property values and our growth a little bit better because we've kind of been used to it. I think that kind of hit Idaho off guard.
Well, the Vegas housing market traditionally has a lot more volatility to it, whereas I think Boise, for years and years, and this is anecdotal, this is not researched information, this has just been my experience. Boise was relatively unchanged for decades, and then they experienced a sudden housing and population boom that they are still grappling with as a community and adjusting to. Vegas has had housing booms and population booms, over the years, so it's not new to us. Our housing market's a little better able to absorb it.
Correct.
Whereas Boise is still trying to figure it out. But they are doing a pretty good job from what I understand.
Well, then let's talk about what does it take to with the home prices being almost $600,000, the average home price being sold. What's the cost of living up there? What are people doing up there?
So honestly, the cost of living in Boise and the cost of living in Las Vegas, overall, big picture, are relatively similar. So as always, using the NerdWallet cost of living calculator, I punched in Las Vegas. I put in the median household income of right around $66,400. And in order to maintain that same standard of living in Boise, you need $71,300. So you're talking a difference of about $5,000, honestly. So cost of living between the two cities overall, relatively a wash. As far as the housing market specific to the overall cost of living, we go ahead and look at, since Justin already talked about the cost of purchasing a home, I talk a little bit about the cost of renting a home. And it says that the median 2-bedroom apartment rent in Las Vegas is $1,627 compared to $1,690 in Boise. So very, very comparable if you want to rent an apartment. Transportation costs in Boise are actually 1% lower. It says that their gas is about 20 cents a gallon, lower than ours is. Food costs are pretty much exactly the same. Entertainment costs tend to be a little bit higher in Boise, but not substantially higher. And the same for healthcare costs. And I have a feeling that has to do with the difference in the population size, right? So it's a smaller community. So your entertainment options or your healthcare options are going to be more limited, which usually results in a higher price. Healthcare and entertainment usually cost more in these smaller communities. Whereas we're this giant metropolitan city, our entertainment is more or less subsidized by the tourism industry, and we have a plethora of medical options that help keep the costs down. But yeah, overall cost of living between the two is pretty much a wash. If you can earn the same salary in Boise that you can earn in Las Vegas or vice versa, you're going to be able to live more or less at the same standard of living. So probably the most competitive city we've seen in our series here next to Phoenix, Arizona.
Yeah. And I mean, if you think about it, really up to maybe about 20, 25 years ago, maybe not Boise itself, but the surrounding areas of Boise were considered very, very rural.
Yeah, and so these numbers actually are not just for the city of Boise itself, but they're actually for the Boise Metropolitan Statistical Area, or MSA. So there's a bunch of surrounding cities that are included in this data because Boise itself is so small that the numbers aren't big enough to justify having its own, statistical analysis. So the Boise MSA includes cities like Meridian, Middleton, Caldwell, Nampa. Now, all of these cities are smushed up together, much like Vegas is with Henderson and North Las Vegas. So full disclosure there, but we never try to keep any information from you guys. We want to make sure that you are able to follow up on the research we've done, do your own research, get your own information. You can make your own decision. We're not here to patronize you guys, and we're definitely not here to skew the statistics to make Vegas look better, even though we genuinely do hope that you choose to come to Vegas and that you choose to use the Moody Olson team when it comes time to purchase your home.
Based on that MSA that Mike was talking about, it tends to lead to different types of job opportunities in the area. We talked about Vegas all the time. It is still very much dominated by the service industry, hotels, casinos, restaurants. We do have a huge growth in our medical fields, office administrative fields, things like that, construction fields, because we are building like crazy. So those are going to be some of the top jobs here in Las Vegas. And as you look into Boise, you start to see growth in other areas that may not have been there 10 or 15 years ago because they are growing so quickly. Most of the jobs are going to be, Boise is actually a financial hub. So you have a lot of big banks and financing there. So you're going to see a lot of management jobs. You're going to see a lot of administrative work there. Construction is on the grow there, so you're seeing a lot of construction there. But you still see some of the bigger employers in the Boise area are going to be, there's a lot of mining and farming and agriculture still in that area. So you're going to see a lot of employment drawn from there. So there's still a lot of opportunity for different types of jobs in the area, whether you want to work, in the office 9 to 5, or if you want to be outside. It's definitely going to provide you with a few different options that you might have in Vegas. Now, Nevada does have a huge mining community, but they're going to be a little bit farther out of town. So it's really up to what your lifestyle is and what you want to do. So the job markets are really different and similar at the same time. It just, again, it depends on that time that you want to commute. If you want to do mining, agriculture, farming, those kind of things, you can definitely do that in the Las Vegas area. It's just going to be a little bit of a farther job and drive, and the opportunity to be less. If you're big into the service industry, if you like hotels, property management, things like that, then Vegas is definitely going to be a place for you. But if you want to take advantage of their burgeoning opportunities in construction, a few smaller upstarts and a technology boom that is happening there, just like it is here. So those are definitely some opportunities for you in Boise as well.
I would think, and this isn't a researched point. This is just something that I was thinking about while you were talking about the relative job markets of the two places. It does seem to me that if you're somebody who is an outgoing person and who is willing to work in the service industry, you don't necessarily have to have, say, a college degree or even have attended a trade school to make a really solid living in Las Vegas.
Yes.
Right? Because you can make a great living in Las Vegas in the service industry with nothing more than a good attitude, a decent work ethic, and a decent smile. Right.
And the growth opportunities in that industry are huge in this area that can get you to, top positions.
Right.
And never spend a day in college.
So while the Boise job market is indeed a good, strong job market, and there is plenty of opportunity there, and I take nothing away from them, I would say that if you're somebody who doesn't have a degree and maybe doesn't have a lot of work experience, but you have a great work ethic and you're a people person, you're a friendly, outgoing person, we have a lot of opportunities here that some of these other communities can't match because of our tourist-focused economy. Contrary to popular belief, people think, and I actually had a comment in one of the previous videos that said, Vegas's whole economy is tourism. That's actually not true. It's not even remotely true. If you look at the statistical analysis of our economy, the tourism industry, so the casinos and the hotels, the actual jobs that industry produced, while numerous, are only a small fraction of the overall job market of Las Vegas. So to those people who come into the videos and they comment, oh, Vegas, if you don't work in the tourism industry, there's nowhere to work. First of all, we've made multiple videos disproving that. When we do our neighborhood walkthroughs and we talk about the economies of the areas around Las Vegas that don't include the Strip. And then I'm actually telling you right now, just having looked at the data, and I look at the data for these videos every single time, tourism doesn't make up as big of a portion of our economy as you might think it does.
Not as much as it used to.
No, because
25 years ago, that would have been a different story.
Right, but we're growing other industries.
Yeah, absolutely. Vegas has a really strong healthcare field that's growing and growing and growing. You're seeing more and more healthcare related universities and colleges popping up and being built and started here in town because they really are trying to change that culture here in Nevada, which has been known for poor healthcare. They're really trying to change that culture by drawing in more students and hoping to retain them into the state, and we're starting to see that take effect. And we've done so many other videos, we have so many different tech companies or high-end solution companies that are moving to Nevada just because we are very business friendly. Not to say that Idaho isn't, but because we are so much business friendly as far as our taxes are concerned, it just becomes more and more attractive.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I will tell you from personal experience, I've lived in Nevada for a little over 15 years off and on. I've never once had a job in a casino.
Right.
Never once.
And I've only lived here for 3 going on 4 years now, and I have also never worked in the service industry. Yeah. But to be fair, the only job I've had is working here as a real estate agent and as a professional real estate photographer. For those of you who don't know just a little bit about myself, in addition to being a real estate agent, I also own a real estate photography business here where I provide media services for the other agents here in the community. So, but yeah, I've likewise never dealt a hand of poker, nor have I, served a drink or brought somebody their food. Not that there's anything wrong with those jobs. I have complete and utter respect for people in the service industry. But my point being is that just because you live in Vegas doesn't mean that's how you earn your living.
Correct. So now let's talk about, something that we always have to talk about. It's kind of the elephant in the room. Let's talk about the crime.
Sure, absolutely. And we talk about the crime rates in all of these videos. And Vegas, contrary to popular belief, is actually a surprisingly safe city. We do have a slightly higher than the national rate of violent crime. Our violent crime rate is about 410 per 100,000, which is, again, slightly higher than the national average. However, that is balanced out by our property crime rates, which are actually quite a bit lower than the national average at 1,700 per 100,000. So overall, US News gives Las Vegas a rating of 8 out of 10 for being a safe city. Pretty good. However, I have to give it to Boise, to the Boise MSA, to Idaho in general. Their numbers are just fantastic. I'm very, very impressed by the numbers that I saw when I looked into it. So full credit where credit's due. Boise is one of the safest cities in America, is what I'm being told. Looking into it, again, I use US News. I look up their crime statistics. Their violent crime is half what ours is, at 209 per 100,000 people. So just phenomenal statistics on their violent crime. And their property crime rates are actually even more impressive at 924 per 100,000. It's the first city that we've done in this series where the property crime rates were less than 1,000 per 100,000. So they rank a 9.1 out of 10. So they are rated better than we are, and kudos to them, they deserve it. They have a fantastic track record of being a safe city. And like we always tell you guys, we're not here to make Vegas look the best. We're here to give you the information and let you choose for yourself. And Boise is a very safe city.
Very safe.
So good for them. And you know, it makes me happy because I like to go visit there quite a bit. Actually, Stasha's best friend lives in Boise, which is part of the reason that we've been there twice now in the past 2 years. Okay. It's because we go up there to visit her best friend from her days when she was in the Army.
Well, let's talk about something fun. You know,
yes.
Like we always do after we talk about crime. Let's talk about entertainment, nightlife, fun things to do. Again, we preface it by, it really depends on what you're into. If you're into, you know, that nightlife scene, the big mega clubs and the casinos and the DJs and the big concerts and the big venues and the, you know, the wild and crazy times and bars that we have here in Vegas, and Vegas is definitely going to be that place for you. It is, you know, Mike has said it 100 times, it is the entertainment capital of the world. It is almost a 24/7 city when it comes to entertainment. You really can't match that. But what Vegas also has is something more along Mike and I's style. It has a great kind of brewery, bar, restaurant vibe in town as well, where you can just find a great place with micro brews or different types of beers from all over the country, and then great food and a nice relaxing vibe, and just chill and relax for the evening.
Right.
Enjoy friends and family. Now that's going to be more of the Boise vibe.
It is.
Downtown Boise is really kind of the hub of the nighttime entertainment in general, where you're going to find, you know, most of the restaurants and bars, places where you can really, you know, enjoy live music and get a good drink and some delicious food. But most of it is going to be concentrated in the downtown Boise area. Again, Mike and I aren't 100% familiar with Boise. If we're wrong, comment down below. Tell Mike where he should go next time he's in Boise.
So I can tell you where I went when I was in Boise.
Yeah.
And when I was in Boise, we went to their downtown district there for food and some drinks. Mm-hmm. And it reminded me very much of like going to Water Street mm-hmm. or going to the Arts District. So if you're familiar with what that experience is like, of going to Water Street in Henderson or going to the Arts District, where you're gonna have a couple of square blocks filled with mom and pop neighborhood bars and cool little restaurants of all sorts of different types of cuisine. That's what it was like going out for a night out in Boise. Several places had live music. Several places had local beers on tap, or they had microbrews from around the country on tap. And it was just a real chill scene, which is my style. So I enjoyed it quite a bit. But yeah, exactly. Justin already told you guys, and he nailed it. If you're looking for the big glitz and glamour, if you're looking for nightclubs, if you're looking for DJs, or you're looking for electronic dance music or any of those things, Boise's probably not going to be where you're going to find it. Vegas has it in spades, of course. But if you're looking for microbrews and you're looking for craft burgers and really well-made cocktails, Boise they have a pretty good scene for that.
I agree. They definitely do. I think one of the edges that I would also give to Vegas would be that, you know, not everything is necessarily going to be concentrated into one area. Las Vegas, Henderson, North Las Vegas, they all have their areas where you can find these places, you know, like a downtown Boise, like an arts district. They're going to be different places in town that are really going to provide all that to you relatively close to your home. So that's just one thing to take into consideration, is what is your vibe? What are you into when it comes to entertainment? What do you want to do on Friday and Saturday night? What direction do you want to take? So you want to definitely take that into consideration when you're choosing a city. So Mike, you know, we talked about nightlife. We always talk about beer and burgers for some reason. It just always ends up happening that way.
It may be because I am obsessed with beer and burgers.
It could be that, yeah.
I'm surprised we don't talk about hot wings more, because I'm pretty obsessed with hot wings too. Maybe I need to start bringing some of that into the video here.
Maybe. So after drinking all that beer and eating all those burgers and wings, where can we go hike? What's going on? What can we do outdoors?
Well, so we tell you guys all the time about the outdoor life here in Vegas, and it really comes down to a couple things. First of all, we're always going to talk about golf because we're obsessed with golf, much like beer and hot wings and burgers. So the golf here in Vegas is fantastic. You have plenty of options, whether you want to go out and play a course like Angel Park or Muni and you only want to pay $75 to get out on the course, or if you want to spend a couple $100 and go play out at Paiute or go play out at Bali High. So you guys know the deal. When it comes to golf in Vegas, we have tons of great options at every price point and every quality of course and level of play. Although I would argue that like even our lower end courses, for the most part, are still pretty nice.
Pretty good shape, yeah.
We have played, I'm not gonna put them on blast on this video, but we did play one course together that I will not be going back to.
Yes, that was a rough day and a rough course.
It was a rough course, but
reach out privately if you want to know what courses to avoid.
We try to stay positive on this channel, so we're going to keep it positive. We're not here to throw anybody under the bus, but Vegas is a phenomenal golf city. Boise's pretty good golf city too. Honestly, I got to play around when I was there visiting. I just went out and rented a set of clubs and went out and played. Just one of their more affordable courses. I think I might have spent 60 or 70 bucks on greens fees and another 20 bucks on golf runners.
But is Boise a 12-month a year golf city?
It is not. It is not, and we're gonna get to that. Boise's the first city since we've been doing this series. Boise's the first city that has a true 4-season climate.
Yeah.
Right. So you have a legitimate winter, spring, fall, and summer in Boise, and the differences in those seasons are pretty extreme, in my understanding. Now, to be fair, I've only been there in the spring and summer.
Okay.
I haven't been there in the fall. I haven't been there in the winter time. So I don't have firsthand experience. I'm not going to talk about stuff that I don't know about. But no, it is not a year-round golfing destination like Las Vegas is. But it is a year-round outdoor activities destination. Moving on from golf, like I said, Boise's a great golf town. They've got plenty of great courses, both high-end and affordable courses. I have absolutely no problem recommending that city as a golf destination. I would go so far as to say that a golfing vacation to Boise would be something I would be willing to entertain. There's some great courses out there and some great food, as we told you about in the last segment of the video here. But moving on from golf, because I know not all of you guys are obsessed with golf like Justin and I are. Boise is an outdoor paradise. That's the bottom line. Idaho is an outdoor paradise. Just every kind of outdoor activity that you can think of that does not require an ocean is available there. Obviously, you have absolutely gorgeous mountains that have all of the mountain activities you could think of: hiking, camping, rock climbing. You have multiple large lakes around the city. You have the Arrow Rock Reservoir just to the east of Boise. And then you have Lake, I believe it's Lake Lowell, which is out on the west side. Big lakes, boating, fishing, water skiing, camping, all of that stuff is available. Idaho is a huge hunting destination.
Yeah.
It's a huge fishing destination, just an outdoorsman's paradise. Every kind of outdoor activity that you could possibly want, again, that doesn't require an ocean, chances are you're gonna be able to do it in Idaho. Just an absolute heavyweight when it comes to outdoor activities. I have to give credit where credit is due. Our outdoor activities here, we got a fantastic lake in Lake Mead. We have the Colorado River. We have boating, we have fishing, we have hiking, we have hunting. We have all of these things. But I don't think that we are quite in the same league as Boise when it comes to outdoor activities, unless you're into something that's niche to the desert, right? If you're into ATVs or off-road vehicles, we may have the edge there. But when it comes to the broader spectrum of outdoor activities. Boise's really got us on that, and you know, credit to them, hats off to them. Just like we can't hold a candle to them in that area, you know, they can't hold a candle to us when it comes to entertainment and nightlife. Oh. So every city's got its pluses and minuses, guys. Every city's got its advantages and its disadvantages. You guys know this, that's why you're watching the video. You want to know what disadvantages and what advantages do I have depending on what choice I make. Maybe you live in Boise and you're thinking about moving to Vegas. We'd love to have you here. Reach out to the Moody Olson team. We'll help you find your next dream home. Maybe you live somewhere else. Maybe you're living in the Bay Area and you're debating because most of the people moving to Vegas are from California. Most of the people moving to Boise are from California. So the chances of somebody watching this video lives in California and is trying to decide, where do I want to go? I'd say it's pretty high. We're here to give you the information that you need, guys. Entertainment and nightlife, Vegas all day long. Outdoor activities, Boise has the edge. You know, Boise's a slightly safer city. I think there's slightly more job opportunities here, a little bit better opportunity. You know, you can make a good living in Boise, absolutely, but we have a more broad spectrum economy that has more various options that you can take advantage of. The bottom line is that I think that these cities actually are pretty evenly matched when you look at the big picture. And I don't think you could really go wrong either way.
I think it's going to, really, I think it's going to come down to climate.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I think that, you know, if you're evaluating Vegas versus Boise, it's really going to come down to climate. What climate are you comfortable with? Do you want the 4 seasons? Do you want the colder winters with snow and a little bit more moisture? Or do you want a drier climate with hotter summers and milder winters? It's really going to come down to climate, I think, is going to be the deciding factor.
Not only could it potentially come down to that, I can tell you for me personally, it did come down to that.
Okay.
Boise was on my big list. When I was first deciding where I wanted to move when I left Colorado, I had a big list. It got narrowed down fairly rapidly, but Boise was on the list at first. And the reason it got struck off of that list is because I don't want to put up with the winter. Gotcha. I had to put up with the winter in Colorado. The winter in Boise is fairly similar. It's dry, it's cold, you get a lot of snow. I didn't want that anymore. So that was the reason that it got struck off the list, because if you take that winter out of the equation, man, Boise was a strong contender.
Gotcha.
So for me personally, climate was the deciding factor that took several cities, Boise included, off of my potential list. So it could be the same for you guys. You know what? You got anything else for us?
No, I think that we were able to really, you know, break down some things for you guys and really help you hopefully make a decision. Now remember, even if you decide to choose Boise over Las Vegas, which is great, good for you. We're sure that you're going to be happy and you're going to love it there. Reach out to the Moody Olson team. We do know a couple of great agents in the Boise area. We'd love to get you guys connected and help you start that process right away.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you guys decide that Vegas is the right choice for you, reach out to the Moody Olson team. Nobody's going to work harder for you than we are. We can promise you that. Let us help you find your dream home, whether you're moving here next week, next month, or next year. Don't forget, if you have questions about lending or you want to find out what you're qualified for, reach out to our very good friends, Steve Schauer and Linda Vo over at Security National Mortgage. They're the absolute best. We trust them with our clients. They can tell you exactly where you're at and where you need to be in order to buy a home. All of their information is in the description below, as is all of our information. Reach out to us. Let us help you find your dream home here in Las Vegas. And until next time, I'm Mike.
I'm Justin. We'll see you guys
later. We're out.